Hello and welcome to Tapping Tuesday. I'm so delighted to have you here with me. My name is Fable, and for the next hour, we are going to be doing EFT together. Now, I just had a bit of a panic because I went to push go live, and instead I pushed like okay or something, and it took away the screen that I'm used to clicking for going live. So I had to educate myself very quickly on where to go so that I could get started. I'm so glad you're here. Let me give you a quick rundown of how this works, and then we'll get right into it. So EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. And here on this channel, we do clinical EFT, which means that it's still EFT, but it's been clinically verified, put through very specific scientific research and studies, and then published results, which are really encouraging and fantastic to look at. But it's very different to experience it, which is why we at EFT Universe have this for you once weekly so that you can experience all of the things that EFT has proven scientifically, but feel it in your own body. Now, if you're new to EFT, that's not a problem. Just follow along with me. I do things a little differently here on this live just because of the way that we are interacting here. I make it very simple as possible. I like to make it empowering for you to have a learning experience as well as the best opportunity to hear your own body as we tap. So I tend to not answer very many questions about EFT itself during this tap. We have hundreds of videos for that education on our channel, which is EFT Universe. Also, you can always email me. I would love to answer your questions. I just want to dedicate this time, this live right now, to actually experiencing EFT. So if at any point you feel lost, please pay attention to me on the screen and I will help you feel like a pro by the end of the session. But otherwise, I would love for you to feel empowered to go on whatever acupoint that you would like to tap on. I typically will stay here on the hand and here on the chest. Those are just easiest for me and my body. I also, they're kind of my preferences. And if I'm here and you want to go through all of the spots, please do. If you want to skip some spots, all you need is one acupoint and you can have the results that you're looking for as far as EFT goes. If you would like to participate today, simply being here is enough. If you would like to be a little bit more interactive, we do have a live chat. You are welcome at any time to drop in a suggestion that you would like to tap on. I do my very best to incorporate as many as possible and also give you hints on how to shift the tap to something that works for you if the subject matter that we've selected doesn't quite fit for you. If what you want to learn to tap on is just too sensitive, you don't want to put it out there in front of everybody, that's no problem. Simply email me and I can keep you anonymous and bring it up at next week's live tap. I think I got everything covered. If not, please feel free to ask questions and I'll let you know if it's something I can answer really, really quickly or if it's something that you and I can chat about together off of the live. Alrighty, I'm going to say hi real fast in the chat and we will get going. Hi, Mama Hutch. Hi, Sandy and Brian. Hello, Donette. Happy to have you here. Hi, Lauren. Black Scout, hello. Hello, Greg. Ellie, hello. Christina, hi. Oh, I don't think I said if it's your first time, hi. If it's not your first time, welcome back. I usually do that. I was so flustered. Hi, Marion. Oh, has Fable started yet? Oh, now you have your answer. Happy to be here with you. Hello, Peg. Hi, Serena. Breathe. Yes, thank you, Dr. Scott. Happy to have you here. um, let's see. Okay, I'm Blast Scout. Welcome tapping for overwhelmed emotions again about health. Having to go back to a job I do not like after medical leave. Gotcha. And I do have an email from a community member that I will include as well after I say hi before we get grounded. Hi, Mary. Hi, Savannah. Oh, thank you. I'm grateful for you too. And I really mean that. Okay, and Sandy and Brian dealing with heavy grief, hoping for some tapping to help with that. Okay, if we don't address it directly, I absolutely already know that there is a tap that we're going to do where I can show you how to utilize that tap to address grief. Okay, and boss, oh, you bumped your head. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope you're okay. And maybe the tapping that we do today will feel better for you on the symptoms that you're having from it. If tapping on your face is too stimulating right now, no worries. Skip all of those tapping points, and you'll be just fine. And Karen, hello. Who's working for us today? Yeah. Oh, what does my top say? I wear this occasionally. It hasn't been on the live in a while. It's a tank top that I made, and it says tap that. Oh, I'm trying to see how to. There we go. Because sometimes I'm a little bit cheeky. It's helpful to have a quick laugh. Sometimes when you're facing things that aren't funny, but it's a good release if you can find that place. And so sometimes I say that during a session when it's appropriate to say. Okay, Mary, tapping for anxiety. Karen, I need to face symptoms where I do not want to go down. Okay. Let's see. Could you please look at work for me, please? Okay. So Tara, do you mean tapping on work problems? And Savannah, trust for the cosmos, letting go of trivial stuff. Okay. Smile, yeah. Okay. And Ellie would love to tap on choosing between unfamiliar heaven over familiar hell, or nervous system agency and making a choice. Awesome. Thank you for that. Love and laughter. Yeah. Okay. I so appreciate that all of you accept me for who I am. All right, and I'm just pulling up the our community person who's given me permission to give her name. It's Christina, and Christina wrote in and is asking about different ways to approach body, how she's feeling in her body, how her body goals are not progressing, though she feels like she's ready for them to progress, and what that means and how to tap on that. What she says specifically, that she's been struggling with weight her entire life. She's very focused on eating healthy and being active. She is in stressful environments, and we all have been told so many things about how that can just thwart every effort that you're trying, right? And one of the things is, suspecting of hormones being out of whack. I don't feel comfortable in my body anymore. This isn't me. But it feels close to impossible to lose weight, really easy to gain it. And here's some key words that she says that give me a clue as to where this might be a good place to start. I'd like to retrain my brain to feel safe and ready to let go of this padded protection. Okay, so there's a lot of juicy words in there. I'm ready to feel like the healthy and happy person I am underneath it all. So there's a lot there that we can unpack that I think feels very familiar. And even if it's not a weight issue, if you have a different body image issue, if it's not a body image issue at all, but it's something else in your life, like I thought I would have children and I haven't, and now I'm at an age of I don't know if that's going to be a thing for me, or I thought I would have sought out my dream by now. I thought I would have my dream career. I thought I would be living in the place that I wanted. I don't even know what that is anymore. And there's a lot of ways that we can have that same template just kind of picked up and set down on top of something else. So I absolutely want to tap on that today. And I've been kind of smiling as I've been reading your suggestions because I feel like a lot of what you've suggested today really fits into that as well. So, okay, I'll read the these other texts that we got in, then we'll get grounded. We're going to get started tapping. Let's see. Tapping for healing and not sabotaging getting better. Yes, Greg, I think that'll tie into this too, because that I think also has to do with safety. Hello, Maribel. Too much in my head, needing grounding, dealing with grief and job search. You are in good company today. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you, Christina, about my shirt. Zarina, adding what Ellie said about fear, the unfamiliar, and it being a worse hell. And that is a very common concern. And absolutely, I think that'll also tie into this first tap that I want to do with everyone. How can we truly know what to do? Worry about making a mistake, like what to do or eat. Yes. And Jo, I love that you brought that up because oftentimes, gosh, we've been so programmed to believe that we can do all of this hard work and then one mistake, one exploration, one curiosity can just wipe it all away, right? And not just all away, but now you're starting at ground zero, but maybe now it's worse, at a worse place, or it's so unfair, and it's also not true. So I appreciate your addition to that, and hopefully this uh, tap that I'm going to pull us all into here in a minute is really going to help address that. Um, okay. And Christine, you've got Savannah cheering you on for your suggestions. So, alrighty, let's take just a moment to get grounded, and then we'll get right into tapping. So go ahead and rub your hands together like I'm doing. Not a lot of pressure. Just kind of like you're trying to get your fingers warm. We're going to breathe. We're going to rub and we're going to breathe. Let's take a deep breath. Keep rubbing. Let it out. Another deep breath. Let it out. Okay, stop rubbing and just relax your arms. And now notice how different your palms feel from the rest of your body. Notice if there's like a tingling, if the temperature is a little different on the palms of your hands. And allow that feeling that you generated by rubbing your hands together to go down your wrists. Allow that part of your body to become alive too. Feel that energy that you created. And if it helps, you can rub your hands, maybe just kind of paint it on. Paint on this energy. Allow your body to really have permission to be present here. Just kind of paint this energy along your neck, along your belly, your hips, down your legs. If you can't reach all of your body parts where you're sitting, that's okay. You can kind of paint from a distance, kind of like with your back, right? Just kind of paint that energy over. And as you're doing this and noticing your body, notice the weight of your body. Notice that you're sitting on something. Something's holding you up. A chair, a bed, the floor, a car seat. Notice that you have presence, that you have space, that you have matter. Now let's take another breath. And now as you notice that in this present moment, you have this space, this weight, this matter. And notice how this moment is connected to all of the future moments that you're about to have and all of the past moments that you've been in. And let's acknowledge that this moment, because it is the present moment, has the ability to affect all of those other moments. How powerful it is to be sitting right now in this seat with this matter in this community. Let's take another breath. Alrighty, let's start tapping. So let's tap and talk, okay? And whatever it is that you have brought to the tap today, that's the most on your mind. I know we've got overwhelm and grief and desiring for things to be different, wanting them to be different, not necessarily knowing how to get there or if it's safe to get there, if it's even possible to get there, if it's even real. Do I have the energy? Do I have the time? Do I have the support? What is it going to take? What am I going to have to sacrifice? What more do I have to give in order for this to feel better? Is it okay for it to feel better? Or is this something that I'm supposed to be feeling right now? With grief, that's pretty common. And we feel like if we don't hurt while we grieve, then that must mean that we are not properly proving our love and how much we miss what we've lost. So, as you consider these things and gain some clarity, let's go ahead and take another breath. And I think what I'm going to say is this moment in time to just quantify all of it, all of these things that we've talked about. I would like for you to focus on what it is that you're focused on. If you want to say this moment in time, if that feels most correct, then absolutely, please do. But if it feels like it's more specific for you to say this moment in my body, this moment in my pain, this moment in my overwhelm, in my doubt, in my grief, in my weight, okay, whatever word feels best. All right, here we go. As I consider the importance of this moment in my life, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though this moment holds a lot of emotion and a lot of thoughts, and not all of them are happy or helpful, but they're here. And even though all of that is here, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though in this moment, I want it to be different, but it's not yet. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. I acknowledge that this moment does matter. There's truth in that. I acknowledge that my choices matter. The way that I engage or don't engage makes a difference. And I know that. I acknowledge how hard I have already tried. And I acknowledge that even though I've tried so hard and haven't reached where I want to be yet, I am still here. And I deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder, why am I still here? Why am I still trying when it hasn't worked yet? When it's been so hard? When I'm so tired? Maybe I feel stupid. Maybe I feel hopeless, helpless. Maybe I'm resentful. Maybe I'm just so overwhelmed and hurt. Maybe I feel betrayed, even by myself, my own body, my own inability. So why am I still here? As I ask myself these questions, I choose to hold space for answers that I haven't thought of before. I wonder, really, truly curious, why? Why is this my process? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this way? Is it possible that this is some sort of process that I was given, that I was taught, that this is the journey that it has to be for some reason? Yes. No. I don't know. Whether or not I'm certain that I was given this template of how to try, I am open to discover other templates for trying. What does that even mean? Whether or not I completely understand, or if none of this is making any sense at all, I still hold space to find different answers. Well, how have I looked for answers, solutions, successes in the past? If that's truly a template or steps that I take, what do those look like? Maybe it looks like I identify an unhappy feeling, something I don't like. And then I look for the reason for that unhappy feeling. And then when I find that reason, that problem, I try to fix it. Because once I fix it, then my problem goes away. That's a successful way to do it, right? Yes. No. I don't know. Whether or not this process has been successful for me in my past, I continue to hold space to discover other answers, other processes. Okay, what would that even look like? How would that even apply? What do I even identify? How would I even make forward progress if I'm not doing it through the thing that's blocking me, through the problem that I can clearly see? Even if I don't know how to do it yet, I accept that I have answers, or that I have questions without answers, but I still choose to hold this space. I wonder, is it possible that through this template, the things that I've identified that are wrong, the things that I want to make right, that I want to make better, am I saying things that must be true because of the outcome I'm currently getting? Things like, I'm not enough. I can't do this. I don't see that I'm enough to succeed or I would have success. So I need to keep trying to be enough. And once I'm enough, then I'll be successful. Maybe I'm too much. And I got to figure out a way to lessen that. I got to figure out a way to be myself but not be myself because I don't know how else to be true to who I am and get what I want. Because I don't think the two can exist in the same place. Or maybe something else that I feel is so true about me. And even if I very much have told myself these things, I deeply and completely accept myself. There was probably a time when that felt very true. Maybe it feels very true now. But even if this feels very true, I continue to hold space to discover different avenues. I wonder, as I consider this moment and the intensity of this moment, do I feel safe? Do I feel safe in my try? Do I feel safe in the words that I explain to myself in what the problem is, what's causing the issue? Do I feel safe, really safe, to receive what I want? Or is it possible that this space, this try, is the safest I've got? And as long as I stay here, but try from here, hmm, but it isn't working. I wonder, is it possible that because I don't feel safe, there are parts of me that are willing to sacrifice never getting what I want? Yes, no, I don't know. Whether or not I now know if there are parts of me that are willing to sacrifice never getting what I want because it doesn't feel safe, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Well, what do I do about that? I wonder, is this something that I can adjust? Because it makes a whole lot of sense to be stuck here in this process if I don't feel safe to try. But I also believe that the only way to be safe is to succeed. Then where is safe for me? How would anything ever be safe? That's really hard. That's heavy. And I offer compassion to myself for trying so much for so long without the basic human right to feel safe. This moment, feeling safe, feeling safe in this moment. I wonder, am I safe for me, even if I never succeed? What if I never get there? Am I doomed to always feel this way that I do right now? Is this truly my only way to be motivated? Is to feel so horrible that I can't stand it anymore? So I move forward? What if I never get there? What if I never do get the body that I want? What if I never do feel better in my emotions? What if I never do progress in my career? Am I doomed to feel awful the way that this feels awful right now? Stuck, stuck in an awful place. Even if part or all of me doesn't know how to not be stuck in an awful place, I still choose to hold space to find a different answer. Where is my power in all of this? What do I govern? Where do I have control? I know where I want control. I know what I want to govern. But what about what I already have? What if I chose to offer to myself safety? And maybe not in a physical sense of like, no one can ever touch me and say something that hurts my feelings ever again, because I don't have control of that. People say things and I get affected, and that's human. So, what safety do I mean then? Maybe I mean the type of safety where no matter what, I care about me and I have compassion for me and I have love for me and I prioritize me. And maybe some days that looks like really digging in hard and fighting for progress. And maybe some days that looks like burn it all down. I'm done. But whatever it looks like, what if I was a safe place? This moment, safe, being safe for myself. That sounds lovely, but how do I do that? What does that look like? Well, maybe, maybe it looks like being a friend. Maybe it looks like offering love and support and acceptance for myself, even if I've gotten nowhere closer to my goal, even if I take a step back. Oh no, I can't do that. Mm-mm. Nope, that's a bad idea. Because if I do that, then I'm just going to get complacent and I'm going to be okay staying here and I'll never get what I really want. And then I'll just feel bigger, worse feelings. Even if, as I consider this possibility, I have thoughts like this that are pushing back against it, I still choose to hold space and find different pathways. I suppose that could be true. That could be what happens. But what if? What if it works? If this is what's going to work, it's really worth a try, isn't it? Even if it's awkward, even if I feel weird, even if most of me still doesn't believe it's going to work, isn't it worth a try? Yes. No. I don't know. Hmm. Well, what would trying look like? Maybe trying would look like a conversation. Maybe it would be asking myself, what do I need to feel safe? And not about the success of this, to feel safe in this moment with all of the mess that I have right now. How could I feel safe with that? Do I need patience, kindness, care, bravery, quiet, distraction, celebration, encouragement? What if I gave it to myself and I didn't put any boundaries around it? And what if that became my support? Maybe it feeds me and that allows me to move forward because I do still want my goal. Of course, I want what I've been reaching for. And maybe this won't get me there, but maybe this will give me what I need to be able to get there. Maybe it's been a while. Maybe it's been never that I have felt safe to progress, safe to try. But maybe, just maybe, I can. And then that can get me the pathway that I've been needing. This moment, the weight of this moment, my try, feeling safe to try, holding space for me, my support, for me. And as I continue to be curious and begin to look for ways to support myself and being a safe place for me, I choose to acknowledge any and all good feelings that I have, even just for asking. And I deeply and completely accept myself. Pause on tapping, take a breath. I'll pause just a moment. Think about what you tapped on and notice if there's a difference in how you feel now versus when we very first started tapping. Notice if you feel more empowered, if you feel more calm, if you feel more at peace, more gratitude, more excitement, just a distance from the heaviness of it. Were you yawning, sighing, crying? Did you get sleepy? Did you get energized? Were you laughing? Did you get ideas? All of those are positive signs that you reached some part of the template. And this one tends to be pretty deep. What we just tapped on is really foundational. You reached some part of it that said, yes. And now it's starting to change to make that easier for you, even though you're not tapping on it anymore. So congratulations and good job. Alrighty, we have enough time for one more tap. I know that took up a lot of time, but I hope it was impactful. For the rest of our time, let's see. I want to. Oh, thank you, Ellie, for letting me know. Yay, I'm so glad I feel peaceful. Oh, and Christina, feel stronger, more energized, laughing, yawning, crying. Yay! Oh, I'm so happy for you. Oh, I'm very tired of constantly trying to do your best. I say, what if that's not possible? Yeah. So this, yeah, I hope, Jo, that this gives you an empowering stance for that, because you can try or not try, but whether or not you're trying or not trying, you're still loved, you're still valued, you're still seen, you're still heard. You know, it's not you have to have one for the other. You can always keep trying, but it has nothing to do with your value, because you just are, and you know that because you've chosen that for yourself, and you can feel the truth of it once you can give yourself permission to show up for yourself in that way. And I could spend a couple hours talking about how there's a lot in society built to not allow us to feel that way about ourselves, because then we don't need what they're offering. And I smile, but it hurts me deeply. It's the majority of why people keep me in business. I keep trying to put myself out of business every day. We'll get there. Alrighty. Oh, good. Okay, empowerment. Just going to talk for the greatness to be a safe place. Yay, Savannah, you are so spot on. Like, that is where I was going to go next, with the last little bit that we have. So, okay. In kind of bridging to similar feelings of what we just tapped on, but on a more energized, side of it, instead of releasing, more like embracing. So this one's going to put a little bit more energy into us and kind of buoy us up. Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna tap here. Go ahead and just breathe. We're going to tap for just a few moments before we start saying more words. Just kind of draw our senses back into this present moment. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Alrighty. So the language for this one is going to be around accepting and receiving. If you want to be more specific on that, you can choose something like accepting the possibility of my dream job, accepting the possibility of all the things that I've been trying suddenly work, and it's just this magical outcome. Accepting that things can be gentle and kind, even though it's a hard subject matter. Okay. As I turn my focus to my ability, or maybe inability, to receive, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though, as I become curious about my abilities or inabilities to receive, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though, as I consider what my answer is to the question of, how good am I at receiving? And I'm suddenly aware of all of the details surrounding that, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Receiving for myself. Receiving good. Receiving ease. Receiving excellent outcomes. Yeah, that's delusional. Thinking that everything's just going to be peachy and easy if I say it, if I think about it positively, that doesn't really work. Even if, as I attempt to become more receptive to positive things, I feel this pushback, either in these words or something else, I still choose firmly to be open to being more receptive. I wonder, is it that I'm struggling to receive? Or is it that I'm struggling to receive good things? Is it true that I'm pretty quick to engage hardship? Is it true that I'm pretty quick to engage fear or anger, dissonance, heaviness, guilt, shame? Is it true that it is just as hard for me to receive those things as it is to receive positive? Or is that really easy for those words to get attached? As I consider my habits of receiving, I deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder, where would I have learned to let it be so easy to receive all the hard stuff and so resistant to receiving good things? Is it because I was taught you got to get through hard things to get the good things? You got to strive before it can be easy. You've got to work for it, or there's no honor in it. Is it possible that the difficulty has been me all along? Yeah. No. No. I don't know. As I ask myself this question about my government of receiving, I deeply and completely accept myself. I accept that I have been true to the principles that I've been given, and I found them to work. It is true that with a lot of hard work, it can pay off. And it is true that striving and reaching for things, I can get to them sometimes. But what if it was easy? What if it was enjoyable? Could I allow myself to feel good about a journey that's enjoyable? Could I allow myself to receive what I want if the way to get there was just fun the whole time? If it just nurtured me the whole way? Does that seem fair? Does that seem honorable? Does that seem real? I wonder. Who benefits when it's hard? Who benefits off of my striving? Who benefits when the road to get there is painful for me, when it's hurtful for me? And whoever that is, do I want to continue to benefit them? I wonder, what if? What if instead I did engage differently? What if there's like I don't know if juxtaposition is the right word, just the one that's popping into my head. There's a total opposite for this. Instead of strife and hardship and lack and scarcity, but reaching my goal. What if there was nurture and support and care and fun and enjoyment and growth and reaching my goal? And what if the only difference between the two is who is benefiting from my efforts? Who am I giving my energy to? Whose pathway am I agreeing to place my time, my energy, my effort onto? Because I do believe if I looked around, I could find examples of both people who strive really hard and succeed, and people who just kind of float through life. They still go through hard things, but somehow they still manage to be in beautiful spaces. And yeah, there's things are still difficult. Things can still be heavy, but maybe the difference is that heavy passes. Something else is stronger because they give more energy to it. What if I could do that? No, I can't do that. What if I could do that? No, I can't do that. But what if I could do that? What if I could do that? How would that be different? What would that look like? Maybe finding peace in a tense, hard situation is still exhausting, still takes a lot of effort, and I still have to learn to flex those muscles. But the outcome would be I get to hold my peace. And maybe having that firm boundary of kindness is unusual and uncommon in the environment where I'm placing it. And maybe it feels odd or lonely, but isn't the outcome I get to keep my kindness? Maybe there's hardness and difficulty in either pathway. But maybe the difference is what I get to receive in return. And if that's the difference, then what would it be like for me if I allowed myself to choose? My pathway, receiving my pathway, receiving good, receiving ease, receiving care, receiving kindness. Yeah, I think I could give that a try. And as I allow myself to give this a try, I choose to feel and acknowledge any and all of the little successes that I have so that I can truly note the difference and allow myself permission to get really good at also receiving good. And as I do this, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, go ahead and pause and take a breath. Nicely done. So think for just a moment about how you felt when we very first started talking about receiving positive things and how you feel about it now. Does it feel like a strength now? Does it feel possible? Does it feel exciting and empowering? What did it feel like at first? If you had any of those other signs of sighing, crying, laughing, if you just feel more buoyant, more strong, more possible, all of those are signs that what you tapped on, your subconscious brain was like, oh, yes, ooh, I like that. And now it's going to start to build those passageways for you to see the truth of that. And I'm so excited for you in that. So good job. We are at time, and it went by really fast today. I want to linger, but I won't. I hope that you feel better. I hope that you feel seen and heard and cared for. And I hope that your body and your emotions feel in a better place than they were before we tapped together. Always feel free to reach out to me. A lot of times the questions that I get from you, our community, are what inspire the videos that I leave on Fridays. So it's always helpful, not just for you, but for our community. I hope I get to see you next week. But if I don't, know that you are cared for and I will be thinking about you. Hope you have a wonderful week. I love you and I'll see you soon. Mwah.